I was really, really determined to make it work and support myself. Things change so quickly that I just like to keep things open and see what comes my way and like go with the flow.
You guys are full-time athletes, and I wish we could just get you everything you deserve as an athlete.
But now I'm the one planning and organizing and scheduling and finding the work.
Welcome to Where She Builds.
The podcast where two globetrotting solopreneurs share the real journey of building a life and business on the move.
I'm Shandy, an online personal trainer helping people feel strong anywhere in the world.
And I'm Anna, creator of Your Travel Friend Anna, a global community and go-to resource for those wanting to live a fulfilling and culturally curious life.
Thanks for being here.
Let's dive into this week's episode.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Where She Builds podcast. I am Anna, your travel friend Anna, joined always by my podcast partner, Coach Shandy. Good afternoon to us both, Shandy.
Hello. Unfortunately, you're not here, but hello in Europe.
I know. I'm a few hours by plane away. Sadly, the rendezvous of us being together to podcast live has finished.
Yeah, but maybe in the future. For sure in the
Maybe.
future.
Somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
curious where the next destination will be.
Yeah, probably back here when you come back here again.
Yeah. Shandy's really just pushing for me to like be there a lot more.
Yeah. I would love to have you here all the time.
Aw, that's so nice. I don't know if on our last Chitty Chat, I don't think so, but I just need to re-emphasize because I think it's been about a week how great of an experience I had. I talked about it in my newsletter. I don't know if you read it, but it was everything is so true because it was just such a great experience to be with travel friends who get the work lifestyle and just actually understand how to travel and work and have fun and explore and all the things together.
Yes, I loved all of it. And it was so nice to have you here again because you also knew everything that we were going through, vice versa. But it was nice to just have another work buddy. And then also the accountability wise, it was just great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so we talked on Chitty Chat last week, though, that this week was going to be a crazy week for you. And we're actually recording on a Friday, so it's the end of the week. So how did everything go? You look fresh and ready to go. Like, I was a bit nervous actually recording this late in the week because I was like, I wonder how the week of assessments, and I put another extra thing on your plate this week too. So how's the week been?
Amazing. It's been great. Honestly, it's been good. I survived it. And to be honest, this week and next week are going to be kind of crazy, but this week was fine, flawless. So I've got nothing to say.
Did you find yourself on camera a lot, like on meetings a lot more, or it ended up kind of feeling like a normal week?
A little bit of both. Like I had a lot of meetings, like a lot of assessments and everything, but there's also some weeks when I do assessments where people don't want their programs changed. And this just happened to be the week where the majority of my clients that I had check-ins with, they were happy with their programs. They didn't want any changes, and they were happy with sticking with it for another 3 to 6 weeks. So I just said, okay, next time we have our short check-in, let me know how things are going. If you want any changes, we can make them. Or if you want to text me, if you don't like something in there, we can always change it. But so it was actually ended up being a super nice week because I didn't have to make a lot of new programs, or I didn't get to make a lot of new programs, which I enjoy doing. But I think we've touched base on this before that it takes quite a lot of time and effort to make them. But yeah, and I've also, you'd be so proud of me, I've got a new productivity hack.
Okay, bring it to the table. What is it?
From our B character. He's been telling me about this for a long time. It's called Raycast. Have you heard of it?
Oh, you asked me about this one in person, and I said no, I didn't know anything about it.
Okay, amazing. I've been working on it a little bit this morning and today after my sessions, and it's super nice. So it's kind of like, do you know on a Mac, of course you know this, but with the Spotlight, you press, I think, Command and Space to get Spotlight, right? You can download this extension called Raycast, and essentially you can have a whole bunch of shortcuts on there. And so what I've been doing with a lot of my programs, because I have a lot of similar emails that I send out to people, like the outline, let's say like an outline for program day or an outline for time to do a reassessment, something like that. So I'm finding myself going back to old emails, copying and pasting, going into other things, and it just takes probably 5 to 10 minutes for me to go through everything. So now on Raycast, you can have, I can't remember what it's called, some sort of like shortcut kind of thing that you can type something in. So for example, I have /assessment, and when I type in /assessment, the whole email pops out.
Yo,
it's
really
amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, it saves me so much time. And then I just have an outline of it. So I just have like hi, name, and then I say like, okay, make this more towards the person. So if the person was doing really well with planks, or if they're doing really well with X, Y, and Z, then I put that in there. And then, so you still make it personalized, but then the idea is there, and I don't have to retype everything and like, oh, am I forgetting about payment? Am I forgetting about this? So it's been really helpful. Today, even, like, I saved myself probably half an hour, and I'm like, what am I? Usually this takes me an hour to do, and it's like half the time right now. So amazing.
That's very cool. And it sounds like it's also, you told us that it would take you like 4 to 5 hours to do any of your assessments. I feel like this is going to cut down so much time just to
Yeah.
have all that draft work, because your programs are, it's a program. It's repetitive.
Mhm.
It's going to be customized, but it's going to be, it's, you know, it's a set product, and it's just customizing it for each person. So hopefully this like
Yeah.
reduces a lot of that initial workflow and trying to figure things out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. And of course, there's so many other things that you can do with it. So I'm curious to dig in a little bit deeper and see what it can do. But honestly, really recommend. And sorry to Pat, he's probably going to listen to this and be like, I told you this weeks ago, but I'm doing it. So we're here.
Should I look into it too now?
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know.
Honestly,
I don't
because you
know.
also have so many outlines that you could send, right? Like probably with your freelance work and everything. And also with just typing things, like you can have, for example, all the emails that you write, that you send out, you have some sort of intro, you have some sort of this. So just have the outline and you can fill it in, and is generally, but it's nice. And then also anything like any numbers that you have to remember, for example, like my VAT number, I always forget it. And then I always have to go in somewhere, find my VAT number, copy and paste it. I don't need it often, but I need it often enough that it's annoying that I have to search for it all the time. So now I just have the shortcut. I just do /VAT, boonk, there it is.
Bonk.
Boonk.
I don't have as much repetitive emails and such, I think, as you, but I'm sure there's something that I could use it for, even our podcast or like some kind of login or something. I'm sure that there'd be a use for it. And
Yeah,
I may check it out. Is it free is the question
it
everyone
is.
wants to know.
It is free.
Okay. We
Yeah,
like a
I'm
free thing.
I'm sure there's paid extensions for it too,
Yeah.
of course. Otherwise, I don't know how they make money. But the part that I'm using is free. So
Yeah. And
we
just to
love
go
it.
back to your programs, I mean, of course, it's nice for you to create new programs. It's fun and exciting, but you know, when the workload is reduced, or you are anticipating a lot more workload, and then you're like, wait, I don't have to do it all. Okay, it feels like a little bit
Yeah.
like smoother. Maybe just the stress levels come back down a little bit. But next week
Yeah.
is a lot more assessments again.
Yeah. Yeah. Same amount of assessments. And I have the feeling that they're going to be ones that I need to change the programs. But I'm quite energized for it. I'm quite excited for it. And the clients that I've had this week for the check-ins, I really enjoy checking in. And also next week, I'm looking forward to talking with them. So that also makes a huge difference when you're able to choose the clients that you work with, and you know the ones that give you energy, and you can say no to the ones that take away your energy too. So I'm kind of finding that flow too. I think we talked about this in December, where I had a client that I didn't go through the correct process of onboarding, and it
Yeah.
just was not a good fit. And I learned from that, and now every client that I've had so far is really good fit, and I really enjoy talking with them. So it feels sometimes like you're just having coffee with somebody. And then I ended my call today with a client, and I was just like, so amazing that I get to be paid for something like this, where I get to help people and I get to sip on my coffee while I'm doing it, and I'm just enjoying it. So I'm in like Zen mode right now.
I'm like really impressed, because I was expecting a Friday afternoon of us recording to just be like, let's get it done. But you seem perky as can be as a
Yeah.
Monday morning.
I
It's
know, 3
fantastic. But I
coffee.
think it's been easy for you. I think that's the thing, is when work is fun and enjoyable, then it's a lot easier to get through the work week.
Yeah, definitely. And
Nice.
speaking of work,
Yeah.
I've been dying to ask you about this. You started your co-living this last
We
week.
are here. Hello from
We're here.
Montenegro. Yes.
Okay,
It
fill us in. How has it been going?
almost a week ago, technically, by like formal dates. It's been awesome. It's cold today, which has nothing to do with the co-living. It's out of our control. However, we are very much looking forward to when the weather shifts again. But it's been awesome. The location is great. It's a walkable distance to the beach and the grocery stores, and also the co-working space we're using. And we have been fed a lot more than I expected from our apartment hosts. They
Amazing.
seem to be bored and interested to join us, which I love at times.
That's so sweet.
We have gotten burek, we've gotten Russian pancakes, we've gotten apple cake, we've gotten also these jujube, janjubi. They're also known as a Chinese date type
Oh,
fruit. I don't know if you've
okay.
ever had them. I
No,
call them like an olive fruit nut thing.
an
But
olive.
They
fruit
look
nut.
like a brown olive that's hard on the outside, but when you bite into them, they're like an apple almost.
But they don't taste like olives.
No. It's like
Okay.
crunchy, and the inside's almost like a green apple, and they're so addictive.
Really? And it's
Yeah.
like a dessert?
No,
type
it's
thing?
like a
Oh.
slightly sour, but not even sour, just crisp. It just tastes crisp, and it's so little. And I feel like instead of chips, that might be my monthly snack, which would be a
okay.
lot better choice. But there's fun chips here too. So yeah.
Gotta try them all.
Yeah, like, do you know what Smokies are in the Balkans? I think you do. I don't know if
I know
actually
Smokies
maybe.
in Canada, but
No, Smokies, they're like a peanut butter Cheeto.
ew, no.
What? Oh yeah, you have this thing with peanut butter. But you like some peanut butter things.
I love peanut butter if it's not with like
It's not
meat.
warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they're
Yeah.
like a peanut butter, like a Cheeto in terms of, it's a corn, I think it's a corn puff, but peanut butter flavor.
I don't know. The people that are on YouTube, you can see my face. I'm like, what?
Maybe next episode I'll like bring some.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were a fan, like I was a fan of theirs last time I was here. And then just the other day, they have chocolate covered ones now.
Ooh.
Shandy. These
Okay.
it only made it to one of their co-living guests. We ate it. By the time I'll have to buy another bag to share with everyone. Like they're gone.
I have in my mind when you say like a peanut butter Cheeto that there's like peanut butter and cheesy
No.
thing together, but it's
No.
not. It's just the shape.
It's the shape and the puffability.
Puffability.
Like it's just like a puffy chip. Like I think they're corn. They're puffed corn or something.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
know. They're dang good.
Interesting. I feel
I
like
do
I need
think
to
they're
Google
flaring
this.
up my eczema, but they're good.
Okay. Pros and cons.
But they're yummy. Yeah, so everything's been going well. We've been sharing meals as well, which has been just such a treat to like split dinner. So who's cooking dinner what night, which I think works really well for all of us, just in terms of being able to like eat a full meal, which worked well when us three were together too. I definitely miss your cooking and just helps to prepare. And the lunches are very simple. It's just kind of a sandwich every day, figuring out what to cook. And we went to one local restaurant, which was really nice. And as expected, I said I was vegetarian, and they said some grilled vegetables. And I was like, yep. But the main grocery store had tofu in it, which shocked
Really?
me. Yeah,
Wow.
quite expensive though. I
Okay.
can't remember how much it was in Holland, but it was €4 here, which is a lot.
Yeah, I think it's like 2, maybe 3 here.
$2.50.
Yeah.
I still haven't ate it. It feels like a treat.
We've
done
save it.
some beans, some lentils, and yeah, it was mentioned on last week's Chitty Chat that an activity we're gonna do is a wine tasting, which is gonna happen this evening after I'm done recording.
Ooh,
yes, it's
amazing.
happening.
Great.
Yeah.
That's so
We
exciting.
have some people from the community coming to the wine tasting too to taste the
Cool.
Montenegrin wine and what the region offers, all the way from sparkling to a sweet wine. So I'm very excited for that.
Wow, amazing. That's so exciting.
Yes.
Okay, great. And any other activities throughout the week? How have things been going?
Oh, I
guess
don't know, just
working and
Just working out with you, Shandy. Wait, did you
apart from
forget about that?
Apart from that.
We had a rooftop terrace workout with Coach Shandy on Tuesday.
Elite
and
views. Beautiful.
I
Wow.
kind of do think so. Like I can,
Yeah.
because I now know where you are on the other side of the camera. I'm like, this is kind of crazy what you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And I was just sitting there like watching you guys do the workout, like looking for things, and I was like, wow, it's so beautiful there.
Yeah, it's quite to be doing like walking lunges, and I was like, wait, that's a nice mountain.
Yeah.
The second day was a little bit rainy. The weather, as expected when planning this co-living, was going to fluctuate. So the second one we made do. The hosts were so generous in helping us change a room around to do it kind of indoors. We still had a nice fresh breeze. And then I think next week we'll be okay to do it back outdoors. I'm crossing my fingers. So
Great.
no
forward to it.
major activities during the weekdays. Like I think that's the important thing, is like creating some routine, but also not planning too much. Just knowing with some fluctuating work schedules, some of us work later, some of us are wanting to work lighter some days and not other days. So I think the weekend is really going to be for exploring and enjoying, and we'll have access to a car and just to see more
Nice.
of the region, and use the weekdays to focus and stay close by, and then use the weekends to go out for dinner
Nice.
maybe, and just kind of see what the day brings us. So I have some plans, some backup plans, but we'll
Great.
kind of see what the energy's like.
Yeah. And how was the experience with renting the car? 'Cause of course, we like
I'll
to
let
be
you
real
know.
on the podcast, but
I'll let you know tonight.
okay, great.
I'm going to have to drive manual again.
Whoa, amazing.
Which should be fine. Should be
I feel
fine.
like that's such a good skill, though, to have.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's just, it might take me a hot second to remember how. And the roads are very tight up to our house. And Balkan driving is just go. I don't know how to explain it. Like in a roundabout, you don't wait. You just squish yourself in. So I'm gonna have to not be nice, I think.
You just have to channel your mom. What did she say? Give her more gas.
Yeah, just give her gas. And my dad also says, he who hesitates dies when driving. Like if you go and then you hesitate and you brake, then it causes someone else to brake, and then you go and then they brake, and then you're just like, So if I'm going to go into the roundabout, I just have to go and pray that the other person sees me.
Big ball energy. That's what we're all about here.
I'm nervous already. No, it'll be fine.
You got it.
It'll be fine because I have navigators as well. So we're going to be good. And one other girl drives stick shift, as we also call it. So we're fine.
Perfect.
It's going to be
amazing.
great. Yeah. So, and like alongside also doing the co-living experience right now, of course, I'm working as well. And I'm already ahead for editing this episode, actually.
Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
Know, guys. I'm pretty good. Well, I want to have a good weekend. So I edited what interview we're going to listen to in just a short moment here already. And we'll glue this chitty chat to it.
Look at you go. That's amazing.
Let's get into that episode. It's going to be a bit of a different one in terms of entrepreneurship, but I think you're going to really like the access to see a different industry and how someone is navigating being a freelancer.
Great. Enjoy it.
Today, we're excited to welcome a Canadian dance artist who has turned Europe into her professional playground. From her early days of training in Calgary to university in Arizona, leading her to a professional dance companies in Chicago, Montreal, Lucerne in Switzerland, and Augsburg in Germany, she has made the move now to be a freelance dance artist based out of Munich, exploring the contemporary dance industry as an independent whilst living abroad. Please welcome to the show my dear friend from high school, the incredibly talented Terra Kell. Welcome, Terra, to Where She Builds.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
Yeah, so excited. And we just also had a little chat before this, and I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about you, about where you're coming from. Also, first question, which we always ask our people that we have on here, our guests, is where are you coming from? Because Anna, of course, is in Calgary right now at the moment.
Yes.
I'm in the Netherlands. So, Terra, where are you coming from?
I am in Munich, Germany, in my apartment here. And I actually was just in Calgary also. I just got back like 2 days ago. I was there visiting family and teaching a bit as well. But now I'm back in Munich.
Amazing.
I missed you in Calgary.
Yeah,
our paths
I know.
Didn't cross properly. It's okay. It's okay. This is international friendship always.
We'll see each other in Holland soon, right?
I think so. And I'm so thankful you said yes to coming on the show because I have had the privilege of being in the dance world and seeing my friends, yourself and some others, pursue being a professional dancer as your full-time thing, your actual career. Yes, you can make money from it, people. It is a real option as a job. But I think something that a lot of people don't give the privilege to learn about is, of course, you have to find yourself a place to work. But then there's also the physical side of things, the emotional side of things financially. And for you, you've added the freelance component to it. And I think that really ties in well to our podcast about being an entrepreneur in a very unique way. And maybe entrepreneur wouldn't be the word that is used in the contemporary dance scene. But we're going to go back a little bit. We want to kind of hear about your upbringing, which I know about, but we can tell the audience about because it's quite complex.
And tell me.
And tell Shandy. And it's quite complex and it's international, which I think is the component that we love so much is you have traveled.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot actually. So I actually started traveling like very young when I was 6 because my parents are divorced and I moved to Calgary from Vancouver. And so I was already at 6 years old flying by myself back and forth. So I think my like travel bug started early and I got a lot of like independence from that. And yeah, I mean, let me go back a bit. I grew up mostly in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I started dancing at the age of 7 and I quickly figured out that I really, really liked it. I was training at like a local studio, Druid's Dance Productions, and was training in like every style possible. And in high school, I kind of talked with my mom and was like, I think I want to try to pursue this professionally. So I went to a performing arts high school where Anna and I met, Central Memorial. And so I was dancing at school there, and then after school at my studio. And then for grade 12, I went to the Edge School for Athletes, which was a bit more of an
cool.
intensive training at school. And then also after school, and I was doing like dance competitions and musicals and already traveling a bit then for competitions and conventions. Yeah. And then I had heard about the dance program at the University of Arizona through a friend. And so I ended up auditioning and going there for my BFA in dance. So I spent 4 years in Tucson, Arizona, and was dancing a lot. um, and then after that, I attended this great summer program called Springboard Dance Montreal with Alexandra Wells. It's actually no longer in Montreal. I think they have it in Pittsburgh now.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a bit sad, but I think whatever reason they had to switch it to the US. But it was a great program that brought in a lot of professional companies to connect dancers with companies and choreographers. And I ended up getting through that program. I did an audition and got an apprenticeship for a company in Chicago called Visceral Dance Chicago. So after I graduated from university, I moved to Chicago, and there, yeah, I was an apprentice. So I was just kind of like mostly like an understudy, learning different parts. And then halfway through the season, one of the dancers left, and I actually got promoted to like a full-time company member.
Wow.
And then after that 1 year, I was looking at my options, like to stay in the States. I was going to have to get like an O1 artist visa, which would have cost like a lot of money and just been like a lot of work. And I was not so sure if I was wanting to stay. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go back to Canada, like figure some things out. So I moved back, and I actually moved to Vancouver, where my dad lives. Was working there with Leslie Telford, and she has a program called Performance Research Project. And so I was like training for a few hours a day with that, and then also teaching dance and working at a yoga studio, blah, blah, blah. And then while I was there, I ended up getting a job with Les Ballets Jazz de Montréal in Montreal, Quebec.
Which is one
Sounds
of
so fancy.
It is one of like
Yeah.
I think it's probably the top company in terms of performance or just like externally well known. It's a very
Yeah.
good company.
Yeah, it's one of the top contemporary companies in Canada for sure. And that was huge for me because I'd actually auditioned like 3 years in a row and made it to the
Wow.
end of the audition each year, but like then just didn't get it. And so like finally the third time I was like, actually a funny story if you want to hear it. In the
Always.
audition, in this third year, at the end of the audition, they were like, okay, that's enough dancing. Now can we all just sit down and like, does anyone sing? Because like there's a part in our current show that has singing. And so they just like had us go around and like sing something just off the top of our heads. And I got
Wow.
so like I have trained a bit in singing, so like I can sing fine, but I got so nervous and I couldn't even think of a song that I just like passed. And then I went back to Vancouver and I was like, if I don't get that job because I didn't sing, like I'm going to be pissed. So I recorded myself singing and sent them the video. It was like,
Whoa.
you know what? I just want to like let you know that I can sing if that's like the make or break thing here because I wanted the job so bad. And then I got it. So I don't think it was the singing, but who knows?
This is like the perfect, like for our podcast, Terra. I don't know if you've heard a couple of our episodes, but our theme overlying is always like big ball energy. And I feel like this is it. Big ball energy. You're just recording yourself singing and be like, hey, you know what? This is me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna miss any chance that I have to get this job. Like I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
And then I guess it paid off. I moved to Montreal and it's like a touring company. Well, yeah, is still, I think there's a new director now and I'm not sure how much. They're still touring a lot, but we were touring like a lot, like on the road 5 months out of the year kind of thing. And yeah, I had like 3 weeks to kind of learn the show that they were doing mostly at the time. And then we already were on our first tour to Finland and Romania. Like that was my
Whoa.
first tour. Yeah, it was incredible. I celebrated my birthday.
3 weeks
Yeah.
is like for a 1 hour at least production, right?
Yeah. It was like an hour 15, I think.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I jumped right in and it was very fast paced, but I loved it. Like I also am really energized by that. And I love being quick and just like trying to understand choreography as quick and clear as possible. So yeah, we like that job was really like the first time where I was like, okay, like I felt like I kind of had made it in the sense of
Yeah,
like
you
I like
did.
reached
Yeah,
this
you
like
did.
this point where I didn't have to work any other job. Like I was just
Yes.
dancing and
Yeah.
that was for me like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were touring so much. Like I think I went to like, I don't know, something crazy like 14 different countries. Like we were in Brazil,
Wow.
we were in China, we were all over Europe, Canada, the US, Mexico. So that was also huge for me, was like just getting to see the world through this job and
Yeah.
experience so many different cultures and perform on so many different stages. Also Italy, where the stages are like still, which means they're like slanted. They were made in that way in the olden days so that people in the audience could see better. But
Okay.
it's like really hard
Dancing
to
on
dance.
that, yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like, and
Your
they still
calves are
have
getting
theaters like that.
stretched.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
kidding. That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah. It was
Okay,
an
so
incredible
you
experience. Yeah.
toured a ton with Montreal, and then somehow you landed in Europe and living in Europe for what, the past 4, 5, 6 years?
5 years now, I think. 1 year. So
Yeah.
I first moved to Switzerland, to Lucerne.
Wow.
And then I was there just for one season because the director was changing and I wanted to try something else out. And then one of my best friends at the time was working in this company in Augsburg, which is really close to Munich here. It's like 45 minutes on the train. So I'd already been going to visit him a lot and I had already like taken class with the company and things. And so then when I found out that they had some positions open, I auditioned and got the job there and I was there for the past 3 years. And then this past year, I've been freelancing based now in Munich, but actually all my jobs have been like outside of Munich. So
Yeah,
Wow.
based in
yeah,
Munich. You've
yeah,
had quite the experience, and I remember seeing you in La Ballet Jazz in Montreal in Vancouver, and I just had this, that's my friend, I know her, like dance mom moment,
yeah.
because this kind of production coming in, it was at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, I believe, in Vancouver, which is like the biggest theater in Vancouver for a performance. And it just was so cool to be like, yeah, obviously to have this personal connection, but then be so proud to see you as a professional dancer. And also to circle back a little bit, I think if we go all the way back to Springboard Performance, you said that there was a lot of guest artists and choreographers. And I thought I have this analogy of like hockey, not hockey artists, but like hockey players, that when they have talent scouts coming and they are like scouting, talent to hire for their team and to join. I think it's a similar thing. It's just it's
Exactly.
so relaxed, and there's
Yeah.
just not the intense corporateness that there is in obviously the hockey industry. There's like so much money, but it's a similar thing. It's like people are coming to watch you dance as an apprentice, as a younger dancer, someone who's coming into the contemporary scene, of course, after your university experience, and just trying to get your name on the map for dancers to know you and artists to know you and
Yeah,
directors to know you. And it's very important, but some of
yeah,
it's out of your
Yeah.
control. Just depends what they like, what they're seeing.
yeah. And the right time, the right place sort of thing also.
Yeah. But it sounds like you were in a lot of right places at the right times. Like it sounds you have such an amazing honestly, but also with of course your work ethic and the like everything that you do of course adds to that as well. But I don't even know where to start. Because all of it, I'm just like you're such an amazing person because you're so traveled. Each city that you worked in is such a different experience. Was there anything that you took away from each city? Like, did you have a special memory from a specific city? Any lessons that you learned while you were there that makes it stand out?
Definitely a lot of
Yeah.
lessons everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, I guess like, so Chicago, I was working as an apprentice, like I said, and I wasn't getting paid to do that. But I was
Okay.
dancing like full time, like 10 to 4 every day.
It's
Whoa.
insane.
So
It's
then I was
insane what
also
to ask.
working like
Yeah.
after, yeah, like I was working at a gym front desk from like 7 until 11 p.m., like 3 or 4 nights a week, and then teaching dance like 3 days a week as well. So I think I learned how to hustle
No kidding.
in Chicago, like for sure. That
That's
was probably,
crazy.
yeah. But I was like really, really determined to like make it work and like support myself.
With the hustle that you were doing, like you probably learned such being very efficient at things too. Like you had to
Yeah.
get things done at this moment, at this time, paired
Yeah.
with the amount of absolute crazy talent that you have. Just what a combination.
But
Yeah.
dancers
It
are
was a
the best
lot.
at a time management, I swear. Like all dancers I know can schedule, can hustle multiple jobs, can have multiple passion projects. Like all my dancer friends can just handle so many things at once because they've always had to. And I think it's taught
Mhm.
us, especially even just growing up training, like you were at the studio all the time. When were you going to get homework done? All my dance friends were smart in school. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like
Yeah.
we all worked really well at school. Some of us were naturally gifted, some of us did more homework, but we always made sure everything was in order. And I don't know, it's just like a skill that has to come because your body has to be ready and your mind has to be ready. And then
Yeah.
outside of the studio, your life has to be together. So
Yeah.
you just do it. You just make it work.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So the experience of working in Canada versus Europe is very different.
Mhm.
And I think more dancers who maybe, kind of early 20s, mid 20s, who are very serious about professional dance do the audition tour in Europe, which happens usually in
Hmm.
October time, is it? Or spring? I can't remember
It's
the
more
audition
spring. It's
season.
usually more like March, February, March. Yeah.
Which again is self-financed. You have to go to all these different cities and get auditions, take ballet classes with the companies to just put your name out there, to
Wow.
get your talent known. But the opportunities to work in theaters in Europe is much different than Canada. And I'd love for you to explain what that looks like and just the breakdown
Yeah.
of who you are as an employee of a dance, like as a dancing employee in maybe we can use Augsburg as the example versus Canada.
Yeah, for sure. First off, there's like way more opportunities to join a company, especially in contemporary dance in Europe and primarily Germany. Like Germany has so many theaters which have a dance company, even in like the smallest of towns. And they're all positions that you get paid enough to live. Like they
Living
take care of
wage.
you. Yeah, exactly. And some of the bigger theaters, they pay very, very well, where you're also able to save.
It's magic
Um,
words for a dancer. Like that
right?
never
Oh my God.
happens.
Saving money.
What a thought.
Yeah. You audition, you're hired by the artistic director of the dance company that's underneath the director of the entire theater, the Intendant, it's called in German. And then you join the company. Pretty much like working in Augsburg, we were working 6 days a week most of the time,
Wow.
Monday through Saturday, and then sometimes also having shows on Sunday. There's like a union here that a lot of dancers are involved in. I'm also in it. And they're really trying to fight for like 2 days off, especially for dance, because it's honestly not enough time to recover. It's a lot on the body and also on the brain, like to just be there constantly so intensely. You need also like some space for you to like clear your mind and recover that way as well. But when I was working there, we were working almost always 6 days a week, and that's like 10 to 6 every day, and then Saturdays 10 until 2.
Wow.
And yeah, you get like an hour lunch break, and every day you start the day with training. Usually it can be a mix. Like in Augsburg, we trained in ballet almost every day. Other companies will have like a bit more diverse offerings for training, like contemporary classes or like fitness classes. And then, yeah, then you have rehearsals for the rest of the day, and you join the company as a dancer, and then the artistic director chooses or hires choreographers to come in to either choreograph or to set choreography that they've already done before. Usually they hold some sort of like audition within the dancers of the company just to get a sense of who they want to work with more, or who would be good for which parts if they're setting a work that's already been done. And then for a period of time, you work with that choreographer. Sometimes you can be working with multiple choreographers over the same period. And you can also so you could have like a premiere of one show, and then that continues to keep having shows until like 3 months later. And while those shows are going on, you're already in rehearsals for the next production. And then, so you could have like 6 different pieces of choreography like in your body and your brain at the same time, which is kind of different than what usually happens in in Canada, or what I've found.
I'm like, how do you function? How do you do this?
Yeah. Sometimes I also don't know. But yeah, in Europe, it's very often that you'll have like a show run throughout like the whole season for like 3 or 4 months, but like random shows. Like, so it'll be like, okay, we have the premiere, and then you have another show like 3 or 4 days later, and then you have one like 2 weeks later, and then you have like three, like, but in Canada, I found it was more often that we'd have like a chunk of shows like every single day for like 2 weeks, and then it's done. And
Okay.
I'm not sure. I personally prefer that, because having to come back and keep revisiting a choreography that you haven't done in a while, especially when you're like doing other things, it gets a bit hard to maintain the quality of the clarity of the steps and like the exact vision of what the choreographer wanted as the time goes further and further on. And you probably aren't getting so much rehearsal time to like prepare that piece again. So it's a bit challenging to like keep bringing it back, but it is what I've found is most common over here.
I was just gonna say, do you also have 24 hours in a day? Because it sounds like you got a lot more dealing with all of that stuff. I don't know if you guys can see, but my jaw is like constantly getting lower and lower. Like,
mine's
crazy.
not, because this is I've had access. I've stayed with Terra in Augsburg. We also have a mutual friend who's another dancer in a northern town in Germany, and I got to live with her for 1 month and really be immersed. And when I was living with her, I'll say that she came home and said, yeah, we're working on this production that we're premiering on Friday, but also tomorrow we're starting to review this other piece that we learned 3 months ago at the beginning of the season. So I think we have some video. I'm going to review it so that I'm better prepared for tomorrow. So she's doing homework. I called it homework, but it is, you're doing work outside of work hours so that you feel better in your body and brain when you have to revisit the piece. And it depends. Like, also dancers can leave. Some people can get injured. Maybe they want to rotate the cast as well. So now you're learning, especially if it's any partner work, you're learning how to partner with someone differently. So dancers' brains are amazing. And yes, there is so much, what's the word? The muscle memory is such a huge component of it, but for sure your brain is activated and remembering cues, run faster, do this, move here, go there, like don't do that, do that. Oh, we're going to take this section out. Let's try it. Yes, we want the section back in. Oh no, we're going to take this section out. This kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, remember how to do it. And, we're only going to do half the piece this Friday because it's going to be combined with this other half piece. Like, it's insane what they can drop on you. And I will say too, I remember in the season 2, when it is a premiere of a show, your schedule does change. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if you are having a show in the evening, maybe you will only have class training, a ballet class. And then you do get a break before a show. So if you had a show, you're not working 10 to 10, you get a break.
Yeah, no. Okay. Usually we would still work in the mornings from 10 until 2. And then you have a break until your call time, which is usually around like 5 or 6. And then also in most theaters here, there's like a makeup department. So you get your hair and makeup done, which is nice. Because in ballet jazz, for example, I did my own hair and makeup. Yeah. I mean, also we were touring a lot, so like they are not like going to hire someone and bring them on tour with you, but that was kind of a fun thing to do, sit down and like get your makeup done and your
But I think
hair.
that speaks to the financial lucrativeness of, is that a word, lucrative? You know, there's just
It is
money,
now.
lucrative, whatever.
Lucrative?
Me and words. English is my only language. Just the theater, you're working underneath the theater, which
Yeah.
includes also the theater and the orchestra at times. So you are
Yeah.
part of this larger company, this established place, which in Canada just doesn't exist. They're always seeking for grants and financial funding and donors and support. And so, yes, to have a makeup and hair artist, the funding to be available for that, and physio and any kind of recovery, like
Yeah.
you guys are full-time
Yeah.
athletes, and
Yeah.
I wish we could just like get you everything you deserve as an athlete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also, oh, can I wait? Sorry, I just want to
no, go
add
ahead.
one thing in that I thought of. In most German theaters, you also get paid a 13-month salary.
Oh,
So in
Yeah.
1 year, you get 13 months of pay. So they actually pay you an extra month. They pay you for the summer when you're not working, and they also pay you like an extra month bonus. They give it half of it like in December and the other half
Like a
in June
it's
or
a
something, like a
bonus.
bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that here in the Netherlands too. They call it like a vacation pay, which is
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah, so you get
Yeah.
13 months salary, which is amazing. How great is that?
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
you should be
okay.
paid this summer too, because you guys aren't given, you're not given, I think we have this, like we're going to chat about this later in this episode, but it's coming up now. You don't get the choice of vacation time. So a standard job,
Yeah.
maybe you get, in Canada, it's usually 3 weeks vacation. You don't get a choice to just take a Friday off. So you get your
No.
summers off, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Usually like 5 weeks in the summer off.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
And sometimes Christmas, like 1 week off, but oftentimes we were also performing on Christmas or Christmas Eve or New Year's. Like in that time, it's also very popular for people to go watch
I think
the
of like the
theater.
Nutcracker or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
It's stuck in my head now.
So Tara, so your last full contract was with the Ballet Augsburg, and that's just outside of Munich. What was your experience being with a company for 3 seasons, and then you were able to, of course, grow and adapt with them? How was that experience apart, let's say, in comparison to being freelancing, jumping all over the place, going with different companies, everything like that? How was it growing and adapting with them?
Yeah, Augsburg was the longest that I worked anywhere, which was 3 years, like you said. And it was really nice for me on a personal level just to like settle somewhere a bit longer, really get comfortable, like get things in my house and just like
Do you
build a
remember,
routine.
Tara, what we did when I was visiting?
Like that you cleaned my apartment.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that, but that sounds very like me. But also, we picked up some stool off Facebook Marketplace, and you don't like typical Europe. We didn't have a car,
bench?
so or a bench. So like
Yeah.
you know, just 2 girls just walking down the street with this bench, because she finally was like, I'm going to get some seating for my table so people can actually sit at my table. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and those pictures, are you leaving this apartment, or those are supposed to go up on the wall? And she's like, no, they're supposed to go up on the wall.
Yeah, exactly that. Like there were so many times just me carrying like random pieces of furniture like on the street and on the like tram as well. People like giving me really strange looks, but
Gotta do
it. You got to do what you got to do. But it was definitely nice to like hang some pictures on the wall and feel a bit more settled. And I also felt like I just got really comfortable in a good way with like the routine of things and seeing like going to the same place every day, seeing the same faces, performing in the same place. Like we didn't tour at all. So from ballet jazz to, I mean, I was in 1 year in Lucerne in between, but like still it was really nice just to like be in one place. As much as I did love the traveling, it was also exhausting. And I also felt like it just gave me a chance to like really grow in myself and build some confidence and maturity. And I also felt like I was able to be somewhat of like a leader in the group and just be a part of this team. And it also like allowed me to build enough confidence to like really know who I am as a dancer and what I can offer to choreographers, and also have the confidence to like go off on that freelance journey and like know that, okay, this place, it gave me as much as it could and I gave it as much as it could and as I could, and now I'm ready to like try something else. So I think my time there really like prepared me for this next step.
Yeah. I think it's very similar to traveling as well,
Yes.
and this fight or flight mode. I think when you're only given a one contract, for example, when you were in Lucerne, a 1 year contract, okay, you're settled for maybe like 2 months, and then you're thinking already next season, not only the job component, but the living component, friendships, travel,
Yeah.
financially, all the components. So I can imagine living in Augsburg just let you be like, I'm here and I'm going to be here for a while. And I really felt when I visited you that there was a sense of community and just, this is the town I'm living in. Like, I'm living here. It's not, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just part of the company and I have to be here type
Hmm.
feeling. And now you're based in Munich, which is very close, just a little bit of a bigger city. And as you said,
Yes.
you dove into this independent world as a freelance dance artist. And can you break down what that exactly means for folks who aren't familiar with what does it mean to be a freelance dance artist and what does that mean in work as well?
A freelance dance artist is someone who is working independently, not tied down to any theater. So I'm not contracted by one specific theater like I was, where I stay there for the whole season, but I'm working individual jobs with different choreographers or different project companies. And it's usually a shorter period of time that I work with someone, like a few months. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot more free and open to possibilities. And yeah, it takes a lot more of me like organizing and planning things and like making sure that I have the next jobs lined up.
Yes.
Um, whereas in the theater, like you just get hired and then you're usually like, okay, now I can like just dance every day and like they take care of all of the details, you know. But now I'm the one planning and organizing and scheduling and finding the work. So it's a lot more free, but it's also a bigger responsibility.
Hey friends, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Just wanted to take a quick pause here and ask you to think about your health and wellness. Do you feel strong in your everyday life? Do you feel confident? Do you feel capable? If you're not an immediate yes, go to my website, www.coachshandy.com, to learn more about how my 6-week program can help fix that. And now let's get back to the episode. How do you find your work as the freelance dancer? How do you find your next work or your next project?
So I actually found my first two jobs through a previous choreographer that I'd worked with in actually both in ballet jazz and in Augsburg. He had
Oh,
been
nice.
in both places. And when he found out that I was going to be freelancing, he offered me a job. And so then when I was working with him at that job, which was in Greece, in Athens, he
Wow.
also invited me to do another project because he was going to be choreographing in a German theater in Kassel, Germany. So he invited me also to come there and do the project with him there. But there's also auditions for projects, which I find most choreographers and project companies post about those online, either on their own Instagram pages or different Instagram channels that are specifically advertising auditions. And also, I'm in this Facebook group that has like a lot of auditions. This woman posts about different auditions in Europe for dance in particular, but also like word of mouth, like friends and hearing about things through people that know that someone's looking for a job, or like I said before, through past choreographers. It's also a possibility to like reach out to people that you've worked with and been like, hey, I'm freelancing now. Like, I just wanted to let you know if there's ever a possibility to work together, I would be super interested. But yeah, I've also done a lot of like Instagram research, favoriting, liking things, like saving things for future to like see if they're posting about any jobs, upcoming things. But it's definitely a job in itself, like looking for work.
I was actually just going to say it sounds like a full-time job in and of itself.
Yeah.
You're your own talent agent now, I think is the thing too,
Yeah.
is you're
Yeah.
trying to represent yourself, but Instagram sounds like it's the biggest connector. And I think for sure that gives it's a visual platform, which doesn't surprise me in the dance world. We all like to
Yeah.
watch something and know, a preview of the piece or the material. And it's just networking. So it's just who right time, right place. I think too with project
Hmm.
pieces, what's really interesting is if you are available and the project also needs 5 dancers and you are available and you can be one of the 5, but if they only wanted 4 dancers, maybe you weren't just the right fit for what the choreography was. Maybe they want to do all female piece, all male piece. You need part of the experience. They want you on point. Like there's so many components of it. And I think it's similar to contract work is maybe how we could take it back to a more common understanding is just do you fit the right job description at the right time at the right place as well, and can you be in the physical presence as you want to. But I would love to jump into what's most misunderstood as a professional dancer, because we're speaking about your time in the studio, the hours you've worked, but there's so much happening outside the studio that I don't even think you recognize anymore, Terra, because it is so probably ingrained in your lifestyle about food, the nutrition component of things, the rehabilitation, the prevention of your body, maintaining your body and a certain level of fitness as well, and you know, not only flexibility but strength, and when you have these breaks between contracts as well, how you're maintaining that. So can you give us also a glimpse into, do you have friends? Do you have a normal social life? Because I think too, as we've shared, you're living abroad. So you've shared with us gracefully that your family's in Canada. And so what does, you know, Thanksgiving, if you want to do Canadian Thanksgiving, look like? What is Christmas like? You know, what is life outside of the studio for you?
I think I have some friends.
Do you have any friends that are non-dancers? Is probably a better way to phrase it.
Yes.
I'm so proud.
I do. Thank you so much. Actually, so my boyfriend is an artist, like a visual artist, and I've gotten to really get into like his friend circle of different artists and theater people and musicians and things. So I am very grateful to him of like welcoming me into this beautiful little I know, of course. But like still different than dance, which is nice.
Yes.
But yeah, I have a nice group of friends here in Munich, and also still my friends in Augsburg, which is not so far from here. And also just friends now all over Germany that I try and go and visit once in a while, or Switzerland still. I go there often. There's a lot of things that happen outside of just dancing. And like, for example, right now I've been on a bit of a break. I'm starting a project soon in Holland, actually, in Amsterdam.
Great.
And the last project I finished was very exhausting. So I really took a good chunk of time to like relax and just recover from it. But now it's a matter of like getting back in shape and making sure that I'm ready for starting like an intensive work period again. And for me, that looks like a lot of Pilates, a lot of working out, a lot of dancing around my house, but also trying to take some classes. It's a bit hard right now because it's summer, so there's not so much going on, but I'm doing like a 2-hour workshop tomorrow with this person. And I do a lot of like online Pilates workouts and like HIIT workouts. So it's kind of my go-to. I've also been running. Because surprisingly, dancers actually have really bad cardio.
I'm not surprised, because in the studio it's very anaerobic. So it's like, show us this piece of material and then they give you feedback. Show us this piece, try it again. And so it's stop and go. And then they're like, now do the whole piece, and you haven't built your aerobic capacity for that 1 hour piece yet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like even training in the morning, like ballet class, like you do the exercise, it's really hard for 30 seconds. In the center, maybe like 1 minute maximum, but like then you have a break after that. And so
you'd be a fantastic sprinter.
Exactly. So yeah, I've been trying to work on my cardio because actually, speaking of like maintaining your body and injury and things, I actually did get injured in Augsburg. I like injured my foot, a tendon in my foot, and I luckily was completely covered by the theater's like insurance to go to this amazing rehab center in the north of Germany. And I was there for 5 weeks, and I absolutely loved it. But they did a lot of personal training there. We did a lot of Pilates and gyrotonic, but we also did swimming classes and like coordination classes with like other athletes and things. So I learned a lot there about like strengthening the body. And like I already was doing a lot of workout and stuff in addition to dance to maintain a healthy body, but I learned a lot there. And I also took away from that of like rest and recovery and the health of the body is so important. Like
It's a superpower. Rest is a superpower for athletes.
Recovery is a workout too.
It is. Especially when you're so used to just like going. Like it's actually really hard to stop, settle, but it's so necessary. And I think I also really learned there that this body is more important than the work that I'm doing, and it's not worth it to break myself or hurt myself and push through pain for one part or one piece, you know? So I take like rest and recovery very seriously, and it's also been a learning pattern in this new like freelance time where I'm not working every single day intensely, so it's also shifting and adjusting to having a lot more downtime and like what that looks like and how I can also just like sit and be good with that too.
Tara, first of all, I want to preface, you will have a friend here if when you come to Holland.
Yes.
And then my second
non-dancer friend too. So
a non-dancer friend.
Yes.
Still into sports,
and
non-dancer.
Dutch speaking, and knows the
very
local
good.
way.
Yeah. So you got somebody here. But I've been itching to ask you this question because the personal trainer in me is very, very curious what your training looks like, because you did say that you were doing a lot of Pilates, a lot of HIIT workouts, and then of course you practice a lot with your choreography, but do you also train in a conventional gym? Like, are you doing strength-based workouts, or is it really mostly based around Pilates, HIIT, more of like calisthenics things?
I personally right now have been focusing more on calisthenics.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
But actually, like I've been wanting to get more into weight training because I've done a bit myself, but not super consistently. But anytime I do it, I see such a difference in my body, and I just want to build more of a routine of that for myself. My partner and I have a small home gym here, and we have some weights, but I'm still in the process of like developing my routine and figuring out what's best for me. But it definitely is something on my radar and what I want to try out.
When you were doing, like, for example, when you're part of Augsburg for those 3 years, of course you have people that you're working with for choreography. Were you also working with trainers at all? Or was that just kind of like a thing like, oh, you have to figure that out on your own?
Yeah, we didn't have any trainers. We had a physio that we could see a few times a week for just usually a massage, but we did have access. We did have like a pass to go to a gym, but we were working such crazy hours there that I like almost never went. If anything, I went for like the sauna.
Also important for recovery,
which is very big here.
So
also
good.
a German sauna. Yeah, but we didn't have any trainers personally, but I know some theaters do, and some theaters, the bigger ones that are a bit more funded, have like Pilates physiotherapists and like trainers as well.
I find it really crazy because in my mind, like coming from a sports background, if you think about a football team or a soccer team or volleyball or anybody, like they have trainers. Like I was an athletic therapist trainer for the rugby team at the university that I went to. And that for me, it's like, that's necessary because you are an athlete. And Terra, you are an athlete. I feel like you guys need somebody to help support driving strength training and getting you stronger for the activity that you're doing. And that's so important. So it kind of boggles my mind that you didn't have somebody there to help assist with that.
It's also like, that's an ideal world, I think. And I think places are getting there. Different directors of theaters are starting to realize how important it is and trying to implement that, but we're not quite there yet. But I completely agree. I think so many injuries would have been prevented in our company, even if there'd just been a bit more focus towards training. Like people did do workouts on the side of the studio and like around the space, but not everyone and not all the time. And oftentimes you're so tired that you're not going to like do it after work, or it would be nice if it was somehow built into the schedule, and with someone that also can like give the proper guidance and the proper exercises and alignment and all this stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of injury prevention, and also you all are very hypermobile. That's not to be forgotten as well, and understanding how to balance strength with flexibility and age as well, because there are some, I'm sure you're working with some dancers who are maybe now 10 years younger than you, and you know, you are at a different age and stage of life where you don't have that range of motion, the growth range of motion, whereas when you were, of course, like in your late teens, you have the ability to still to gain range of motion and mobility, and now as we age, things aren't as open, but we have to maintain what we have
it is
as
still
well.
possible.
But
It is still
I have
possible.
to say, I think I'm the strongest I've been in my career now.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I really
great.
think
Yes.
so. Like, it also really came down to like understanding my body more and more. And like for me, Pilates, like that changed my dancing. First of all, I think before I moved to ballet jazz, I'd done a bit of Pilates in university, loved it. And then I did some Pilates private lessons before moving to Montreal. And that for me was like a game changer. Like I didn't understand how much my glutes weren't working. I didn't understand how much my low abs weren't working. So this for me like changed my understanding of my body. And then I recently became Pilates certified for like just beginner mat last
Amazing.
summer. And this again is like another level of understanding of the body. And like, it's really exciting because I feel now I have all this knowledge and now I have all this like new knowledge, and how can I incorporate it into my dancing and my body now? And I feel I'm at a place where I would say I'm probably the strongest that I've been throughout my career, which is super cool.
Amazing.
It's like snaps
Yeah.
for that,
I love
claps
that.
for that.
Yeah.
Also, reach out. I'm gonna push. You should talk to Shandy because she's an online trainer focusing with women in
Yes.
strength training, and I think definitely there could be some support, especially with the variety of your lifestyle. She's just great. She's helping me, so I'm getting stronger too. One area of your
Anna's my marketing.
Yeah.
She's my marketing too. This is what this is about. We gotta help each other. One area of your job, though, that I think our travel more focused audience and myself, I'm really curious about is you said that you are based in Munich and you have a project coming up in Amsterdam. So when you are asked to join a job, what does that look like for you in terms of living situation, finding a place to live, especially a short-term lease maybe, or subletting? So what have you found the most strategic way to find housing when you're asked to do a project abroad?
The first project that I did in Greece, they found us housing, which was very, very wonderful.
Awesome.
And was included with everything, which was great. But for this project coming up in Amsterdam, I needed to find my own housing. And I was like just trusting that something would come along because I was like, I heard from everyone that like it's so hard to find housing there. And I was like trying not to stress, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like send out some messages. I messaged like all the people I know that either work in Holland or have worked in Holland or like know people in Holland. So I just posted something on Instagram being like looking for a place, please share this. And I got quite a few responses from people or people tagging me in other people's posts. Again, Instagram, great tool. But in the end, it was actually the manager, like the company manager of the project that connected me with like a past colleague of his that was actually looking to rent out one of her rooms.
Oh,
So
amazing.
I actually found it through him, and we just had like a video call and we're like, okay, great, let's live together. So I'll be subletting
Awesome.
that from her. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But also I forgot to mention this earlier, like I'm also very fortunate with like getting to live and work in Europe because I actually usually as a Canadian I would need some sort of visa. Like all my years working in the theaters were sponsoring my visa to work here. And I recently got my Slovakian citizenship.
Whoa,
So
cool.
my mom was born in Slovakia, and so I was able to inherit the citizenship from her and like just do some
Amazing.
paperwork and get that. So that's just like one other thing that I wanted to mention of like I'm very fortunate that I have the citizenship because it allows me to work and live here no problem. But it is possible to get a visa for artists, especially in Berlin. If any dancer is wanting to move to Europe, if you have a place of residence and like a bank account or health insurance or something like this, you can apply to get this 3-year artist visa in Berlin. And you just need to have proof that you have some upcoming work. So if you know a choreographer, they can write you a letter saying that we're going to hire this person. But I've known a lot of people who get this 3-year visa from Berlin, and then you can kind of work anywhere in Germany also. So just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good for us to know or to share too, because of course visa
Yeah.
and we see a lot of the digital nomad visa happening, but it's nice to hear of how you're making this transition as well into your freelance world. So we're going to slowly start to wrap it up, but what's next for Terra? What is the dream project? If we could manifest anything for you right now, or you never know who's listening.
You have 3 wishes from a genie.
Yes.
What is it?
Oh my God. You know,
is there a dream location? Like, would you love to live and work on a project? Maybe not perform, because sometimes you can just be creating a project. Is there a dream
like
location?
a residency or something?
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been really interested in Japan lately.
Ooh,
I'd really love to get
hype
out there. I know it's all over the place, but I think it could be incredible to live and work there for a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of like open to whatever's coming my way.
Everyone needs to watch this episode on YouTube, because as a typical dancer, you have described so much with your body language. As she opens her arms, she's open to everything, everyone. And I've known you to be a very go with the flow person, as we've talked about being so structured, but you are very like, where the wind takes me, we shall see.
Honestly, I found it just works better that way. Like when someone once was like, yeah, but you have to have goals. And I'm like, I feel like I do have goals, but I don't know. And things change so quickly that I'm like, I just like to keep things open and see what comes my way and like go with the flow. Because I feel if I get too fixated on one thing and then it doesn't happen, then I get like disappointed or defeated. And this way it's okay, like, let's see. I'm really open. Even starting this freelancing thing, I quit my job in Augsburg before having any other job. And I was still auditioning for theaters, but I didn't get anything. And then 2 choreographers asked me to work with them, and I got invited to this freelance audition, and I was like, okay, I think the freelance world is calling me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very much about this, just staying open to things, and the right thing will come across my path when it's meant to.
Amazing. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Tara, where can our audience see you perform next?
Well, I'm going to be performing in Amsterdam. Yeah, I think in mid-October we have our premiere, and then actually we have shows all over Holland until the end of December. So
amazing.
Yeah, the choreographer is Dunja Josic, and we'll probably be posting more about those shows on Instagram and whatnot if anyone's interested.
All right, Terry, it's been so nice to hear from you again. Of course, as a friend of yours for many years, it's just so nice to get to give you a place to share how important the arts is to an industry. And I think people, they see creative funding getting, sometimes decreased, especially in Canada. This happens a lot. But I think it's so important that go see ballet shows. One of my favorite things to do now, of course, I come from a dance background, is to see the theater, to go to ballet shows and other places in contemporary dance. And you get to, one of my favorite things is you're in an audience with locals too. And that's such a unique thing. I've seen one in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I had no clue what was happening on stage, but I was like, this theater's gorgeous. How cool is this that I can go and see the theater? And also the theater is quite affordable in Europe too. I would like to say that too. I find tickets very affordable. Depending how big it is, there's a variety. So where can people follow you online or connect either as dancers, or they just want to follow your journey and see you perform soon?
I would say mostly Instagram again. I'm not super active on there, but I do post when I'm working usually. I think it's like at Terra_Kell.
Okay, we'll put it in the show description.
We'll verify that.
I'll make sure we have your right. She's just letting the wind decide what her Instagram handle is.
I think it is. Let's see.
We'll put in the show notes so everyone can follow you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Shara.
Thank you.
Terra. That's what was in my head.
Shandy and Terra.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shara, for joining me today.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh,
it was honestly our pleasure. So much fun. And I'm so excited to see you here.
Yeah, we're going to meet soon.
Yeah.
Shandy's going to see you perform. We are the Where She Builds podcast, and when you can follow us on YouTube, which I highly encourage you to watch future episodes because Tara's dancing on the video. YouTube or Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast. I'm Anna at Your Travel Friend Anna, joined always by Shandy at Coach Shandy, and we will catch you in the next episode. Ciao for now.
Thanks for listening.